Are Michigan's new districts unconstitutional? Specifically in Metro Detroit, an independent redistricting commissioner redrew the maps that are used for the 2022 election, but a trial is now challenging whether they disenfranchised black voters. Thank you for joining us here at 6:30. I'm Terrence Friday. We are live on the CBS News Detroit stream, joined by Gay-Dagnogo. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Terrence. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Always glad to have you. So this is an important conversation to have. In terms of black voters, what is the big concern here?
So representation certainly matters. The issues that are impacting our communities throughout the state, every community deserves to select and elect representation that understands the issues that are impacting them, the institutions that are important to them, like our schools, our police, our fire departments, housing, auto insurance, you name it. There's a myriad of issues that are ongoing that are not the same, and so there's no one size fit all. And we know that the Voting Rights Act of 1965 ensured that African Americans would be able to select a candidate of their choice. And so we're seeing these cases that are taking place across the country, remediation, cases being won, thankfully in Atlanta, in Alabama. And so Michigan is a part of that. And so we've moved forward a body of 20 African American plaintiffs from the city of Detroit that is saying you have splintered our city into 22 pieces and only 7 of these representatives live in the city of Detroit. That is wrong, it is unjust, and they have violated the Voting Rights Act. And I know it gets a little technical for your viewers to understand, but the Voting Rights Act requires that there be a 50+1 percentage of black voting age population, and certainly those that are redrawing the lines cannot use racial quotas. And so we have found through 5 days of testimony, tomorrow being the last day, that unfortunately the Michigan Independent Redistricting Commission used racial quotas at a percentage of 35 to 40%, woefully below what they should have used and what was required.
So with the testimony that's coming in, all of the research that has gone into this to back this evidence that you have, what are you seeing that is really showing that this is what's happening and also something needs to be done about it?
Something has to be done about it because for the first time in almost 55 years, they drew congressional lines that made sure that we don't have one African-American congressperson. And so looking at the percentages, we are certainly due at least one. And so we have a test case that was won at the Supreme Court level in Alabama that ensured that they now have 2 seats to be able to have congressional representation. We absolutely have none. In the Senate, in the state of Michigan Senate, we had numbers to at least have 3 African-American seats, and the 2 remaining members from our community or representing our community in the city of Detroit, they are term limited. And after they are gone, we will have zero representation. And so all you have to do is look at the district where formerly Senator Marshall Bullock represented, and now where Mallory McMorrow represents. If you look at that district alone, District 8, you'll see that that district is 75% Oakland County, 30 to 35% the city of Detroit. And so it was no way possible for anyone to win that seat, especially when you look at the differentials of voting. And so it woefully below the number that is required by the Voting Rights Act. And so we have to fix that to make sure that we have proper representation. Under these maps, we've lost 20% of the black caucus, not just in the city of Detroit, but throughout the state of Michigan. And they have splintered the city of Detroit. They have cracked the city of Detroit into 22 pieces with only 7 members living in the city of Detroit, and that is wrong.
Quickly, we are running out of time. Just want to ask you, what is next for you in this fight? What are you hoping to see?
Tomorrow is closing arguments. We're hoping that the judges see what we saw. The chair of the Michigan Independent Redistricting Commission was a witness who testified that they did not get this right. We have several members from northern Michigan and other places that have demonstrated that they did not get this right. We're coming to the table demanding a redrawing of these districts to ensure that we are in compliance not only with the Voting Rights Act of 1965, but the 14th Amendment that does not allow racial quotas. The only time that you can use racial quotas is when you are trying to make sure you are complying with VRA, and that was not the case. This Michigan Independent Redistricting Commission failed, woefully failed, and they must fix it, and they must fix it to make sure that African American leadership is present in the 2024 election.
Sherry Gay-Dagnogo. Sherry, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on.